Hello, hello, hello. This is Sir David the Bard. And I want to do a video on something I've been thinking about, but also something that I got a very nice letter on from a nice lady. And she was asking about friends, and how we make friends, how we lose friends, and how we are supposed to feel. At the same time, I was thinking about human beings. I wish there was a book on them so I could learn something, but there ain't. So anyway, I hope I can combine the subjects together to make some kind of sense. First of all, life's journey is not that hard intellectually. If we like laying bricks, or we like driving truck, or we like ordinary jobs and employment or whatever, that kind of goes down 35, 40 years, and we end up getting into old age and whatever. Nowadays, you young people, you're changing jobs or careers 7 or 8 times. Here's I just learned this in the last 3 days. God. And the things I learn are not happy things. They're about human beings. So this poor sweet little gal that wrote into me, I wish I had her in counseling, because she's honest and she's straightforward and she's looking for answers, like many of us are. Friendship. Well, here's what's interesting I have found about friendship. If you move away from your friend and you have a geological distance, the friendship dies. Now, what does that say about friendship? You live in California, your friend moves to Wisconsin, you might communicate 3 or 4 times. Nowadays, with social media, you might even get back and forth that way. But generally speaking, geological differences, there's no marriages and there's no friendship. So when things dissolve that easily, it was Thomas Jefferson, I think, said, to lose a friend over politics or religion is about the stupidest reason to lose a friend. Let me digress to where I see the Bard just sees different shit than normal people. I find human beings disgusting, to say the least. I have a video on a dog that I saved in the Philippines, and we named him after my wife's ex-boyfriend, Joseph. And Joseph, I saved his life, and he wasn't a friendly dog. He didn't jump up on your lap. In fact, he bit the shit out of everybody. Maybe he was a smart dog. I don't know. But when he was a baby, we were laying upstairs there in the Philippines. There's a lot of noises in the jungle, but the barking of a dog is not one of them, because they eat them. There's no dogs or cats there domestically. No, I exaggerated when I said there's few dogs and cats, because they're an omelet to the Filipino people. So anyway, I went down with a newspaper, and I yelled at Joseph, and I hit him 2 or 3 times with a newspaper. He quit barking. I could go up to bed, and I slept all through the night, and the damn little dog, he didn't dare bark. Well, what does that tell me? What does that tell me about humans? Well, here's what it tells me. There's an old adage that says that the squeaking wheel gets the oil. I didn't like to believe those kinds of things about human beings, but they're true. Most human beings, if they didn't have to work, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Now, I'm different. I would work whether I was rich or I was poor, or I had a good job, and I have, or a bad job, and I've had both. Work to me is an outlet and a building of my self-esteem, character, and learning things. There's always something to learn on a job. Well, here's what I've seen, folks. You turn my ass off if you don't believe this. Family, because you live with them, and the bathroom smells bad after they leave, and you sit at a table with them and argue over the last biscuit and run to the car for a shotgun. This is the best of human beings. Family are supposed to be together and supportive of each other, kind, decent, compassionate, and a positive thing in our life. Well, most of it is not. Many times, the only time the children and the people get together is when someone dies, and they all feel so guilty that the guilt overcomes their anger at their brother or their sister. Well, this is what I'm seeing, folks. It's like Joseph. Most people aren't going to do shit unless you hit them with a paper. They don't. I've said on other videos that people, the only way they learn is you take their money or you hurt them. And I'm of that opinion. I'm still of that opinion. Now I've added hitting them with a paper. That's the motivation of human beings. Blackmailing, if you don't do this, there's no sex tonight. Oh, I'll do this. They won't clean up after themselves. They won't share. They won't encourage or try to build anyone's self-esteem but their own. And they're just mean characters. They're damn mean characters. Now, you may get a window in life, and this little sweet gal that wrote to me, you may get windows where your family are not shitting on you. You may get a 7 or 8 or 10 year window, but somebody gets married, somebody gets a new job, somebody moves, things change, and, you know, shit happens. Well, it's the same way with friendship. Friendship is kind of a quasi-family. Girls and women have much more propensity to be friendly to each other and share that, gee, my left boob is bigger than my right boob. Men don't get together. Have you seen my left testicle? Men don't do that shit. So women, they seem to have more in common. They're more gentle, they're more compassionate, and they're more understanding. If a woman is crying, other women will surround her and go, oh gosh, don't cry. If a man is crying, guys go, what the hell? I'm out of here. They run like hell. They're not going to put their arm around somebody that's crying that's a man. So, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that the human race, as a huge part, I'm thinking 96 to 98% are assholes, are stupid, have a single digit IQ, and don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. Now, you may have a lucky time, like I said, a window. Your mom might have been great to you between 0 and 20, but now you bring Frank home with 2 earrings here and 9 earrings here and 3 belly button earrings. Now mom becomes a bitch. She goes, no. If you have him around, I'm kicking you out. I'm going to disown you. Or he's not coming in this house. I mean, humans are funny. They can switch back and forth in an instant for hate and love. Their emotional side of human beings needs to be hit with a newspaper. How we lose friendship. God, there's a million ways. People get tired of us. People, as you get older, we become disgusting. Hair comes out of our ears. Hair falls off. Eyebrows look like Andy Rooney. And, you know, if we have our original teeth, that's a good thing. So that can be part of a friendship, is that you're embarrassed to be around a fat person with eyebrows that stick out like a mustache, a bar handle? No, handlebar. There's dementia. So it can be something as simple as that. It can be, I've seen a lot of guys, and this is the cause of a lot of running around and outside of relationships. Their poor wife gets pregnant, and suddenly, you know, she's the Goodyear blimp with little tiny feet and 2 arms. And suddenly, I had a friend, well, he's not a friend anymore because of religion. I won't be a polygamist and he hates me. But You may have a propensity for hating fat people, which my friend did, and so as his wife started to get fat, her attraction diminished in his eyes, and he would be a good candidate for outside affairs. It can be money. A lot of people, male and female, but more female because they need support for their children and future children, marry for money. So you may have a really good job and you may be really supporting the family well, and suddenly both your legs fall off and your nose and your ears. Well, she doesn't want to be with you anymore. She's going, shit, I'm going to get somebody with ears. So you're down the road. You're down the road. So there can be many reasons, and they're all on the right side of the brain. They're all social, and they're all social and economic. They don't make sense. Friendship does not make sense. The reason most of us hook up with a friend is because something in their life was similar to us. If you're divorced, you may hang around with divorced people. If you're blind, maybe there's a blind society, but I don't know how you see them. How do you find blind people? And how do you know they're not faking? They're in the group, but you go, hey, that guy never falls down. So you lose friends and you lose family on the right side of the brain. They comfort you when they're your friend. They are empathetic. They'll listen to you. And they may offer advice even if you don't ask for it. And sometimes they loan you money. And sometimes they let you live in their house. And those are good things until you start smoking in their house. And they say, hey, there's no smoking here. And they kick your ass out. And now you're not friends anymore. Human relationships are extremely fragile. This little gal that wrote into me, she had a long-term friendship. And it's harder when something, I was married once for 18 years, that's my record, and when you divorce after 18 years, it's much harder, because you know that person, they know you, you've been through a lot, than if you've been divorced 1 year, or married 1 year, and then divorced. So I guess what I'm saying is friendships and family can be very fragile. Is blood thicker than water? Most human beings will say yes. I don't think so. Many times when I take a look at how I feel about my children, I feel better about my adopted children than I do about my blood children. So blood is not thicker for me, but for many of you it's going to be. Because there's obligations. Society and school and church has taught you you're your brother's keeper. Well, as long as your brother is not too much in need of a lot of keeping, people will help now and then. Now, how do you make a friendship? You're asking a guy that has no damn friends. Because, no, wait a minute, I have one, Jonathan is my friend. He's a Mormon and a returned missionary, and he has the cutest little Filipino wife, Teresa, and she's like a daughter to me. I'm so old. Anyone that's 20 or 30 is like a daughter. And they were over the other night, and Jonathan and I sat for 5 hours talking about philosophy and things that interested us. Now, Jonathan has had a very colorful life. He's been adopted twice, abandoned twice, molested 10 times. In the church on his mission, he tried to run away. I like this guy. I like him. And he told me the other day, he says, David, I think I'm a little bit effeminate. My hands and my skin is so soft. And I said, Jonathan, I've never noticed that. But that's in his brain, because his parents and his friends and the significant others, we call them in psychology, have inundated him with information that makes him think that he may be appearing homosexual. What he doesn't. But in his mind, he does. Now, when I was in high school, I wouldn't wear a short sleeve shirt like this. Not a million years. I always wore long sleeve shirts because someone said I had skinny arms and I wasn't very tough looking. Well, 7th or 8th, 9th grade, that made an impression on me, and I wore long sleeve shirts way into my 20s because of that. So friendship can be toxic. People can say things that they're jealous. You may be the most beautiful up and coming good-looking person and your friend scares a glass of water away. She has to sneak up on it to get a drink. Well, that can be exaggerated and exacerbated over a period of time. And she becomes more angry. She becomes, well, why does Jennifer get to be so beautiful and all the boys chase her? And I try to hide behind trees and all the trees run away. You know, that's possible, that you're better looking. And it's also, I've seen it in college, where you have 2 or 3 people in a class that are sharp as hell. They know the subject matter. The professor knows them. I mean, they're like kissing cousins. And the rest of us are like shit sitting on a college table trying to take notes of why the professor likes them. So here's, I guess, my conclusion on this topic. If you want a friend, it's hard to get a friend. Most people, statistics show, only have between 2 and 3 friends throughout a lifetime. When you see 90 people on a Facebook or 900 people on a Facebook, you know damn well none of them know anybody. They're not your friends. They just want you to be their friends, so they have 900 people on their Facebook, and somebody will think they're important. None of those people are important. A friend, I think, has time. If you're trying to make friends with somebody whose life is just jammed from moment to moment, that's hard to get a friendship. It has to take time. You have to have, half an hour or 2 hours, or like Jonathan and I the other day, 5 hours, where the TV's not on and we're able to talk about more intimate and personal things about us and about our wives and life. You have to have some things in common. Generally, you have to be able to speak the same language. If it's just all sign language, I guess a signing person has friends, but not with hearing people. We go, what? So there has to be some things in common. And I'll tell you something. I haven't seen this very often, but you can have male and female friends. But as that relationship gets closer and closer, the boundaries of companionship and affection and sex begins to be very, very diluted. I have not seen long-term friendships between a man and a woman last very long before somebody's on their back and their high heels are tearing the roof off of the car. I used to have that problem a lot in high school. My headliner was always ripped. It was always ripped. I'm bullshitting you. It was ripped because I put a knife up there and did this, so all the guys would go, oh, those look like high heels. I go, yeah, they are. Yeah. So there's many human motivations on the right side of the brain socially where some humans need more contact with people than others. I don't need a lot of contact. I love my wife. She and I spend a lot of time together, and my kids. And Jonathan will come over 2 or 3 times, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But overall, I don't have any friends, and I think the reason for that is my self-esteem is fired from the inside. When I got on YouTube here, I never expected you people to look at me. My parents told me I was a piece of shit. And my friends, my ex-wives, well, they may have been right. The ex-wives are probably the most truthful group. But I had low self-esteem, very low self-esteem. It's because I hung around stupid people. And I should have hit them with a damn newspaper, but I was young, I was stupid, and since I have been in toxic relationships my whole life, I don't recognize an untoxic relationship. I look for people who will argue with me, hit me with a paper, kick me to the curb. I go, he's a friend. She's a friend. So, in conclusion, if you can fire your self-esteem from the inside more than the outside, if you think you are a good person, I have to share something personal with you. Last night, my wife came in and I was watching TV, and she says, do you want to watch a new TV program? And I said, well, we don't have on demand. She said, well, Abigail knows how to get into the computer, and there's a place there that you can get brand new movies and you don't have to pay for them. Well, you know, that's typical of Filipinos. They knock off imitations of everything, and she comes from a culture and a background that having pirated people's movies is okay, that many people are doing it. Well, she and I had a disagreement, and I said no. I said the people who made that movie and worked on it should get paid, and for us to take it for free goes around the system where they're equally paid and treated fairly. Well, she and I went, you know, totally opposite, and I started yelling. That's my main communication form. I don't slam the doors anymore because they're nice doors. I don't want those damn doors broken, French doors. But anyway, I put my hands up in the air, and that almost drove her away. But I said, listen, I'm an atheist, and I'm not going to pirate or steal anything from anybody in this world. They've earned it. They should be paid for it. They've worked for it. And I said, now you're a returned missionary of the Mormon Church, and you're going out there and teaching your kids to steal. My standards are higher than the Mormons. And so anyway, she felt guilty because I can really make people feel guilty. And so she went out and just watched regular TV. But there's an example there of people having different standards and different backgrounds, different cultures, and different emotions. And in our house, we allow that. We allow people to disagree with each other until I hit you with a paper or a broom as I fly through the room on my broom. So, sweet girl that wrote, if I had you in counseling 35 or 40 years ago, I don't know if I could help you. But I'm doing this video for you because you would do it for me. You would do it for me. That there's a degree of friendship there. There's a symbiotic relationship that you come to me and say, I need some help. And I come to you and say, well, I need some people writing in and recognizing that maybe I could help them or donate or do something. So be careful. Families are fragile, and so are friendships. And if you put way too much weight, and you can love too much, people are going to throw things at the TV now and go, nah, he's wrong. You can love something too much, and when it dissolves or it terminates, you can be in big trouble, because there's a huge piece of your personality and a huge piece of your social self-esteem that is ruined. It's cut out. Now you've got to fill that with something you can put in there, or you got to be desperate and go looking for more suckers. And I'm telling you, most people are like Joseph. You got to hit him with a newspaper, or he's going to bark and bark and bark and be a pain in the ass. When you can find somebody, and most of the time it's in marriage, most of the time when you find a companion, not just a friend, but a friend and a lover and a supporter, and a person who's kind and basically loves you, whether you're doing weird stuff like videos or whatever. So my heart goes out to all of you who suffer daily. I know that there's many that I have some older, I want to say patrons, but that's what they say in the Mormon temple, older subscribers and people who watch, that they're alone. They're alone, and they miss that second income, and there's not a lot of hope. There's not a lot of future, gee, what do I want to do with my life? I would say to those people too, I've gone over to the senior center, and those people over there are old. I didn't want to be with them. And when I listened, we'd sit at these round tables, and the old boy across the way, he'd tell World War I stories. And he didn't know anything about life. You know, he was a plumber, and all he knew is that shit runs downhill. He's boring as hell. Well, I tried to sit there and integrate into that group, And then, of course, all the 87-year-old women were eyeing me because I was 60. And I said, no, you're not attractive to me, and you fall down a lot. So the friendship over at the senior citizen went down the shitter. So I've learned to think more and to read more and to be involved in what is going on in life. I don't have to agree with it, but I think it's important for me to know. And I learn. And I learn. And as I raise children and as I marry and live with my wife, I learn more about myself. So don't be, excuse me, devastated that your friends have dropped you. There's many reasons that friends drop you, and most of them are not you. Now, in my situation, most of them are me. The people don't want to be around me. That's okay. I don't care. You know, I have Jesus at the wheel as an atheist. We don't even have a car or a golf cart. Most of the time, it's not you. I've noticed in real life that the friendship terminates because the friend has changed religions, political office. They've changed financially, morally. I find it very hard for divorced people to have friends with married people. They may marry somebody that doesn't like you and moves them away, or there may be a job or new information that came to them and said, if you have red hair, don't be a friend with these people. They're very violent. Which I'm going to break off here. The sperm bank doesn't take red-headed people anymore because they can't sell the sperm. Now, I hate to tell the red-headed people that, hey, but the Bard has to tell the truth. Okay, so the sperm banks don't do red-headed people, but there's mostly the friend that pulls away from you. You don't pull away from them. Now, me, I kind of push them away, but this little gal that wrote in, I see her personality. She's not that way. She's not that way at all. She's probably a people pleaser. And when she quits giving and giving and giving, people hit her with the paper and they go on to find somebody else they can rip off. So, be at peace, be yourself, and be friendly. I'm friendly for about 15 minutes, and then after that, you're on your own. And I just wanted to give some support and kindness, if I can, and some compassion. I've been there, done that. I've laid in a bed with a loaded .350 Magnum at my head, and people all standing around cheering, go, pull the trigger, pull the Those were my friends. You should have seen what my family... Do you want some help? Let me have that trigger. So anyway, I've been there. I've done that. I'm speaking from experience. Generally speaking, life will get better as we get better. I don't believe in luck. I had a guy say, boy, he has a lot of luck. And my friend said, well, you know what's interesting is that I have found that the harder people work, the more luck they have. Thanks.